All right, welcome into Morning Brew and Jaffe and Jaffe, with Jaffe and Razor. All right, I think maybe it's a bad start by me too, kind of like the Bruins in this game, Razor, on Monday. We sit and record this episode after the Bruins matinee loss to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Last episode we did was our Saturday morning brew with our friends over at WEEI, and that was right before the Buffalo game. They went in and won that one to go 3-0. They lose to the Tampa Bay Lightning 4-3 at TD Garden on Monday. A game that had a lot of highs and lows, valleys and peaks and valleys, whichever way you want to look at it. The Bruins almost pull off the comeback, but they lose again 4-3 and now sit the 3-1 record on the season. This episode of Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor proudly presented by Sparks, Sunset Lake CBD, Fazenda Coffee Roasters, and welcome in to Copeland Automotive Group. You can count on Copeland. We will talk about them and all the others in just a little bit. Thrilled to have them along. Razor, always a fun day game. 1 o'clock start on the holiday Monday here. But the Bruins didn't start on time, my friend. Great energy in the building too, right? They did not start on time.
No, it was individual breakdowns, unfortunately. It was just not quite there, not quite sharp enough, and a desperate Tampa team came in and was able to take advantage in the first 24 minutes of those brain farts, for lack of a better term. And when you get down 3-0, and then when you get down 4-1, it's just such an uphill battle. But again, it was I think it was entertaining. It was fun. It didn't get out of hand like it might have 12 months ago. So there's still, I took a lot of positives out of it. They weren't going 82-0. And at the end of the day, it's as good of a start as you could imagine. 4 and 6 games, man. It felt like we were at the Garden all week. Yeah. Like I haven't left. Like I don't know what the players feel like, but it feels like a lot already.
The Bruins end up out shooting Tampa 33-23. I mean, the Bruins aren't what we would call a mass high volume shot team. Would you agree with me, my friend? I mean, they did have 33 shots against the Chicago Blackhawks, and they had 31 against Buffalo. But yeah,
I think they're different than they were. I think they're going to be more shooting.
Okay. Well, what I was going to say is, and I know we're not living in the past, but I'm maybe I'll stop saying this eventually. But last year, A, they didn't have much shot. Now, granted, they didn't have their whole team, but B, they're playing a team in Tampa last year, Razor, that was number 5 overall defensive team in the NHL. So I do take some positives out of that shot number, more so against Tampa perhaps than I do against Buff or Chicago. And they only give up 23 shots, and I think that's kind of the thing I'm most frustrated with, or I could see people being most frustrated with, my friend, given that, as you said, it was a lot of individual brain cramps or mistakes that happened. When it was all said and done, they were bad mistakes because it led to goals that were simple. There was nothing that Korpisalo could have done on all 4 goals. Nothing. But they were such significant mistakes that he had the team had no chance to make up from it. And you got to point out individuals. And in this case, I thought that the D pair, in particular, Charlie McAvoy and then Mason Lohrei, they struggled in this one.
Yeah, they did. And then it was peak.
25 minutes.
It was peak and it was Zadorov. So it was basically, you covered the gamut on the back end. And again, Tampa can do that to you. Tampa will make you pay if you make one mistake. And they did that. But certainly lots of tape for the coaching staff on their trip to Vegas to go over and dial in on, hey, we can't give freebies up. This is the opposite of being hard to play against. And again, I think that all happened, and it's going to happen early in the season to everybody. And this is a good opportunity. It's easier to take when you're 3-0 and now 3-1. It's easier to take when you push back and have a good fight in that game. And it's not nearly as panic stricken, I guess, if those are the scenarios around the individual mistakes.
Let's talk about kind of reversal. Let's talk about the comeback here a little bit, because it wasn't fueled by just any one player. Again, finding the positives, the spread out scoring, the participation of numerous people, depth players coming through. Yes, David Pastrnak, he does get an assist in this game. But it was a beautiful little assist that he gives the free up Jordan Harris to go on the 2-on-1 that we'll talk about in a moment here. But, you're talking about looking at the game just today, Middlestat, Arvidsson, Zacha, Pastrnak, Harris, Geekie. Zacha was the only one who had multi-point game. So, on a team that we talked about right away, it will need significant contribution from all lines and all defense offensively if they're going to have any chance at scoring just enough to be in it. They have so far, and I guess what I like too, Razor, is it isn't forced, meaning it doesn't feel like they're fluky goals, they're desperate goals, they're press goals. They're making play goals. To me, the Middlestat one is a perfect example of a beautiful breakout leads to it. Actually wasn't a 3-on-2, it was a 3-on-3. Kick the puck wide. They end up, Arvidsson gets it then over to Middlestat, who's in that middle high left slot, and his sizzler beats the goaltender Johansson up top.
I agree in the way that they're scored is just as important as the fact that Middlestat has 2 and Zacha has 2 more points and Lindholm's got a few and he's got points and Arvidsson's kicking in with those assists and it looks good. It looks proper. It looks National League. It doesn't, like you said, it's not garbage time. It's not early in a game where it just kind of happens. They're building these plays shift after shift. I thought the second line was very good. They didn't spend much time in their own zone. They were able to move the puck up. They're driving wide. Like you said, they kick it wide. And then they make the seam pass on the goal. And Middlestat is confident enough to make that shot and take that shot and pick a spot. So no, there's again, it just goes back to just a lot of positives through 4 days, 4 games that came through tonight despite the loss.
So Middlestat does get his second. That was in the second period at the 109 mark. That, by the way, the other thing that was a real potential buzzkill was that Bruins gave up 2 goals to begin a period. I mean, the first goal was scored at 109 into the first. The Cirelli goal after McAvoy had his pocket completely stripped or picked by Gensel, and then Tampa reattacked and just, I mean, again, no chance for Korpisalo. And then Yanni Gourde, 39 seconds in to the second period, ends up scoring to make it 3-0 at that time off of, another runaround play deep in the zone. It was funny. The Cirelli line was excellent in the first period for Tampa. And then it became their second line, the Gourde line. I guess you call it the third line too. But anyways, the Gourde line was excellent in the second period for them. Holmberg, Pontus Holmberg, like, holy smokes, where the hell did that come from? The offense. But I didn't love that. The beginning of periods, how much we went through that last year. Beginning and ends were troublesome, I think would be a fair way of describing that. Yeah,
they were. But again, I think the good news is it's not last year, and this was 4 games. They haven't done that. And it was individual. It wasn't like they'd had 5 shifts rolled over on them, or at the back of the period and then the front of the period, or it was just strictly just not doing the proper thing by one player that broke everybody else down. It wasn't a comedy of errors, I guess. So, and again, it can't. You have to nip it in the bud. That's what the good teams do. Good teams are going to have these games, and they're going to have those plays, and they have those plays all of the time. It's an 82-game season. And this is where the test comes into these guys getting the benefit of that and the positive comments about it, and Marco Stern becoming a great coach in this league is flying across the country, having a couple days off, and then reminding everybody before the game, by the game on Thursday night, that this stuff can't happen, and we're not doing it again back-to-back games.
I don't think it was a peel the paint off the wall type of moment after the first intermission, despite the faux pas, the calamity of a couple errors that were pretty calamitous. I don't know if that even makes sense. But would you agree that, Marco had the right to be disappointed in a couple of players after the first, but not needing to light into anybody. I think it's too early for that, and given how well the team has played.
And the shots were 10-9 in their favor. It wasn't 17-1 like Buffalo the other night, or Tampa Bay 16-1 in their first period at home against New Jersey the other night. So that's disheartening and nerve-wracking and a problem, and deserves paint peeling. But no, in this case, it's all right. We get a chance to face some adversity here and see what we're made of.
How good has Pavel Zacha been? He continues now a 4-game point streak with his multi-point game in this 4th game of the season. He now has points in each one. His defensive play has been excellent. He made a great play on the breakup, a PK pass or a power play pass from Tampa, cross seam in the 3rd period. Beautiful play. I haven't always loved that second line yet. I feel like that's been, would you agree, the most inconsistent line for this team so far? Or would you say the second or third line has been the most? I thought the third line against Tampa was not very good.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were.
Fraser Minton wasn't noticeable. We didn't really see much of those guys. I think it's hard to say inconsistent because 2 of the games they were very good. The last 2 games I thought the Middlestat that line was good. The first 2 games not quite as good. So I guess through 4 that's fair.
Zacha's been the mainstay on that line, though. I think that's pretty.
What's that?
Zacha's been the mainstay.
Yeah, absolutely. Steady.
He is the great kind of equalizer, so to speak, or balancer on that line.
Yeah, and that's really what he's there for, and I think that's where they love him at center. They do, and they're kind of playing a hybrid center. He's taking a lot of draws. He's ending up back in the middle of the ice in the defensive zone there. So it's curious just how they're playing that to that point. And yeah, he is he's going to be the balancer kind of on every line he's on. Even last year with Geekie and Pasta, he was the balancer for those 2 guys as well. It's just kind of the way he plays and the way his hockey sense works.
Jump into the 3rd goal for the Bruins, the 7th goal of the game, the Geekie goal, who faceoffs on the left wing face-off circle side in the offensive zone. Geekie's a righty. He's on the outside. Zacha wins it perfectly, and Geekie just skates right into it. And it's not a slap shot one-timer. It's a snapshot one-timer. There's no handling of the puck. He skates right into it, and the contact is precise, and it is efficient, and it is ferocious. It was a great shot. And there was also, I think, a big screen in front of the net by Victor Hedman because it happened so quick. But those are the kind of plays when you draw them up, you hope to just get the puck into space or, and then make something happen. I mean, you couldn't have drawn it up any better than how these guys worked it. And, I don't know if I'm the biggest Johansson fan or not. I don't even know his game that well as a goalie. But by the way, I thought he played pretty well today. I did. I don't know if he stole the game for Tampa. I don't think he did, but I thought he played pretty well. But he had no chance on that one. It was a rocket of a shot by Morgan Geekie.
No, and it was rolling too. It was up on edge, and he just hit it perfect. And it was like it would be like doing that play with no one else defending. That's how good it was. It was picture perfect, letter perfect, and a lot of that credit goes to Zacha for putting it in that spot. And it's hard to imagine how good you have to be at hockey to do that. But they are, and he is, and Geekie paid it off, which is nice for Geekie. He got the empty netter, but it's nice to score on a goalie too for him. Yes. And now he has 2 goals through 4 games too.
Yeah, because he's been at times just a millisecond off the timing on some of his one-timers that remember how many he finished last year. And I don't know if that was frustrating him. I do know that he worked at length on them after Saturday's morning skate with skills coach John McLean. He took probably 50 shots, Razor, 40 for sure, maybe 50 of one-timers when Johnny Mac was passing him pucks from one side to the other. So it's the old repetition, practice makes perfect. This was different. This wasn't a slap shot one-timer, but it's great for him to get that kind of goal because that's what he scored on last year. That's what got him this mammoth contract that he earned in that regard. What to make of Jordan Harris? Jordan Harris has now been in the last 2 games with Hampus Lindholm out of the lineup. Left shot D comes in for a left shot D. He had an assist in his game against Buffalo. He has a goal in the game against Tampa. A beautiful shot, 5:31 mark of the second period. The Bruins have the puck rim around. I mentioned already the really nice play by David Pastrnak. Puck gets rimmed around, and on the left wing wall, Pasta's a righty, so he turns his back a bit to where he can one-touch the puck to a streaking Jordan Harris, who had supported the play, which the Bruins D are doing more of this year early on. Would you agree? Like it's noticeable. Is it more than they did last year, Razor, in your eyes, or is it just better than they did?
Well, I think it's better because the gap's better and the neutral zone's better and they're just closer to the play. I think at times they were just so far away from the play, it was hard to support. I think if you go back a couple of years when Monty got here, that was his whole vision and push for the D to get in, and they were using the offside wings and jumping in. So I think we're closer to that than what we were, middle of the season. I think also, once McAvoy and Lindholm was gone, you didn't have many guys that could jump in either last year.
Fair. But McAvoy, Pastrnak beautifully directs the puck to a streaking Jordan Harris, who's just at his own blue line or inside a little bit. Chernak commits to that wall and the wrong play, the wrong read, and Harris takes off on a 2-on-1. I'm trying to remember, was it Middlestad or Zaka that he was on the 2-on-1 with? Regardless there,
I'm not sure.
He keeps it down. He's a lefty shot. He skates it all the way down. He looks like a forward here. And I was really, really impressed with the low short side, the blocker side shot. There wasn't a lot of space there. Normally, you're thinking a guy's going to either go 5-hole or try to go top corner on the glove side from there. Instead, Razor, he goes short side. And he absolutely, I think, froze or caught Johansson off guard there with a gorgeous shot and goal.
Yeah, he shot it really early, too. He was above the hatch marks when he had a lot of space. So I think it just caught Johansson off guard all around. I think he got him in a perfect spot with the shot, like you mentioned, but also just didn't expect the shot to come that early. Thought he would take a little bit more space, 2 or 3 more strides, and or make that pass across. So it was a hockey sense goal scorer's goal by Jordan, and that's a huge bonus for him to go 1-1 in the 2 opportunities that he gets, a goal and an assist. And with Lindholm skating the last 2 days, I would expect him closer, if not in, on Thursday. And then that'll be interesting to see what shakes out from Harris doing what he did in 2 games. And did he take advantage of his opportunity to push someone else aside?
So that leads exactly to where I was going. Where does that leave Jordan Harris? Let's assume that Hampus Lindholm is going to play. He skated well on Sunday. He skated in the morning early on Monday. He is expected. He's heading on the road with the team. By the way, folks, the Bruins departing Boston Monday evening after the game against Tampa for a little team hiatus, heading out early to Vegas, get a couple of days. I mean, could be dangerous. Maybe not. Maybe a Tuesday in Vegas isn't that bad anymore.
Well, yeah, at one point in the league, it would have been suicidal to do something like that this early in the season. Guys have changed a little bit. I'm sure they'll do some cool activities. I'm sure a few guys will enjoy it, but you got Monday, 2, 3 nights now. So, you can assume by Wednesday night, they'll be in their bed nice and early, tucked in.
Yeah. They might be so tired. Who knows?
Exactly.
I mean, so let's say they take off. Let's play this game. Let's say they took wheels up at 6:00. I think maybe a little before, but let's just say 6. So that's 3 Eastern. They're Pacific time in Vegas now, right? With the time change, right? So 3:00, 5-hour flight. Does that make sense to Vegas?
Yeah. 8 or 9 o'clock, you get in.
Okay.
Is that what we're saying?
So that's like, in Vegas, that's like 2:00 in the afternoon. So yeah, I think some guys will enjoy, as they should. Tuesday, I'm assuming there's some type of team activity somehow, some way. And then Wednesday, practice, flush,
Yep.
get ready for what will be a very tough game. With that said, back to the Jordan Harris question. So Hampus comes back in. He goes back with Peak. Low rye, you assume with McAvoy? There's one question. And Zadorov for sure. Boy, has he been good.
Yep.
On the left with Yoki Haru. I mean, I guess the two questions could be, do you keep Harris in for either a low rye Yoki Haru? If he's in for low rye, he goes to the left side. If he comes in for Yoki Haru, he flanks him on on Zadorov on the right side. I mean, those are the obvious choices, correct?
Yeah, those are the two options. So, there's two questions, I guess, that the coaching staff have to ask themselves when Lindholm's healthy. Is okay. Do we want who do we want Jordan Harris in? And then do we want Jordan Harris? If we do want Jordan Harrison, and the answer is yes, then do we want him on his offside or do we want him on his strong side?
Mm-hmm.
And that's, that'll depend on who's kind of coming out and what their assessment is of that. So certainly no real reason to speculate, but it's low rye or it's Yoki Haru. You're not taking out Zadorov, you're not taking out Peak, and you're not taking out Charlie. Those are the automatics on each pair at this point.
We'll touch on Nikita Zadorov in a moment. But first, let's touch on our sponsors, because without them, there is no Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor. The first one is Sparks. I don't know if they're traveling with the Sparks machine, but you know that 25 or more NHL teams, Razor, have them now. They're using them. So maybe Vegas has one out there. But
there's cooking when I was walking around, and they had all the wheels, a whole package of wheels and the whole thing. It's
impressive how many teams, how many expert equipment managers, and these guys are magicians with equipment, and players are fastidious with their skates. It's unbelievable. Skates and sticks. Crazy how guys are about it, and they trust the Sparks. Right now, Sparks is $100 off bundles. They also have the custom NHL sharpeners. So if you're a fan of these Boston Bruins, you can order one and you have a Sparks, do it. Visit sparkshockey.com. Sparks Hockey, preferred home sharpener of the NHL. Also, you want to talk about fun and feeling good? Sunset Lake CBD. You know what, Razor? We talked about the lifted tees. I have one in the background now here. If you're looking on YouTube, I was going to crack one open, but I've still got to head to the rink still myself right now. Here's the lifted tea. This is the original one. Oh, there we go. If I'm good. All right. The original lifted iced tea, 5 milligrams THC, 25 of CBD. You can get a little buzz without the alcohol, and how great is that? I've enjoyed them. I know you have multiple times. They come in two flavors, original iced tea and the mint green. And your favorite is the original, right?
I'm an original guy. It tastes awesome too. That's the key too. On top of it, into a glass of ice, perfect, nice and cold. Tastes great, and it's not too much. It's just kind of nice.
All right, because these aren't your average iced tea, folks. Each can of lifted tea is infused with a dispensary grade dose of THC, as I said, 5 milligrams, and then 25 milligrams of CBD. You can feel the effects in just about 20 minutes because it's just how it gets into your system. And it's nice. It's mellow. You can try lifted teas for 20% off when you use the special code BREW20, BRU20, BREW20. And remember, folks, that code works on all of Sunset Lake CBD products for people and for pets. And by the way, actually, last year when we would go, or last summer, we had a little of the CBD for pets. Works perfectly. I don't know if you'd ever do it for me. For Coop, we did it just a little bit.
No, I gave her a couple of the treats that we had.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, loved it.
Great for Coop. Taking him on the boat. We take him on the ferry going to visit the in-laws. And so he enjoyed that a lot. Speaking of enjoying, Fazenda Coffee, we have enjoyed them for years and years, and we're going to continue to. Visit fazendacoffee.com/morning brew for the Morning Brew hats, the Morning Brew Clean Canteen, or the Morning Brew Blend. Fazenda Coffee in Dedham. is Boston's boutique coffee roaster. They've got everything you could want. Whole bean, they'll ground them for you. They got the lightest roast up to ultra dark. The morning brew blend is strong but smooth and bold, as I like to say, just like the original Razor. Is go try Fazenda Coffee, fazendacoffee.com/morningbrew. And lastly, this is one that Razor and I know an awful lot about, Copeland Automotive Group. How about Todd Copeland and the Automotive Group coming on board Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor? Thank you very much to them for joining us. 5 different dealers around there. You can count on Copeland. Go to countoncopeland.com. Toyota, Chevrolet, Hyundai, Subaru. I mean, this is.
Well, I go to 2 of them. I got my Toyota, I got my Prius, and I got my Tahoe. So there you go.
And by the way, I just script. It's Copeland, Toyota, Chevrolet's got 3 Chevy dealers now. I said Hyundai. That's not accurate. Toyota, Chevy, and Subaru. Razor is a multiple user of Copeland Automotive Group. I've known Todd Copeland since I have been 18 years old, and I will tell you this: there is nobody that loves hockey and Boston Bruins hockey in this area, and also owns car dealerships, plural, like Todd Copeland. That I can promise you. You know what? He was a heck of a hockey player himself. We were teammates at Michigan. So we're going to have some fun with this, Copey. So thanks to Copeland and Todd and Copeland Automotive Group for joining Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor. Go to countoncopeland.com. Check them out. You can count on lately, back to hockey talk, Nikita Zadorov.
Mm-hmm.
I know we talked about it on Saturday morning while we did our show, but I just want to go back to the impactful hits. He's leading the NHL in hits. Now, he was tied for first coming into Saturday's game with 16. He now is 23 after his second game in a row, Razor. Second game in a row with 7 hits. And all of them were impactful. And to me, that, and hits are subjective, rink to rink, whatever, but these are legit. And it's not just about his physical play, but his presence has to be considered, because if you're that big, you need to be present. And he has been so far incredibly present.
No question. And the beauty of all of that is there's 2 penalty minutes.
Yeah.
2 penalty minutes.
Great point.
He's on the line. He's on the perfect line right now of playing so difficult against, closing gap, hitting guys when they're playing the puck off of the rush, closing out rushes, taking rushes away, but nothing, no stick work, no hooks, no tripping, nothing, no holdings, not getting behind the plays, completely within himself. And I think what we're seeing, and this was my thought while watching today, was the goalies are a huge beneficiary of this neutral zone, the way Sturmey's playing it, and so is Nikita Zadorov, because this is perfect for him. He can read the 3 guys in front of him. He can close gap, but he doesn't ever have to chase. He doesn't ever have to go up and ride the wave. Everybody's got to come to him at some point. And when that's the case, he can dictate and he can force. And I think that's he's a huge beneficiary of this neutral zone right now.
I would agree about that. I will also say this, and I'm not changing the subject here. I'll say I think Tampa did a pretty good job at times against the neutral zone that the Bruins
they were able
today.
They were able to go up to the middle and then just the little touch pass through that little seam.
Yeah,
Bruins D, I thought, had to be more aggressive a few times. I'm curious to see what Sturm, because I was thinking the same thing a few times they broke, and I'm like, Sturmey's not going to love the fact that there's no one on that guy right there.
There was too much gap. There was the space was too much now, but that's partly the forwards though too. Forwards are wide; they've got to read to come middle. But I will give the credit of John Cooper and his staff for playing out. And by the way, is there anything better than watching John Cooper, Mad Coop, on TV? Did you see? I know you're ringside, but did you get to see him at 3 shades of dark red?
Yeah, well,
chewing out Eric Chernak.
I saw him go flying down the bench right away, and then I turned and checked the monitor and really saw the shades. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty obvious to him how desperate he was to get a win. Like all the cups, all the games, these guys compete so hard, and they do not like giving away goals. And that was one of those. And again, Chernak, Turner's
my
got 2
gosh.
rings. He's one of the best shutdown guys. Any team would have him in a second, and Coop's laying into him, and that's called winning in championships, and
I
that's
mean,
no work.
if you didn't get to see it, folks, watch the goal if you got on the replay. I'm not going to say the words that John Cooper clearly were saying. What the were you doing?
Yeah.
He asked him maybe 3 times, and I don't mean asked, I mean emphatically yelled at him. Like, it was, when I say awesome, just because it was real. I also think, by the way, at the end of the game, he got really pissed at Kucherov. What was Kucherov? The Bruins are up a man because they pulled the goalie, and then the puck gets sent to Kucherov, right wing side. He gets, it's like he pulls up. It was like he didn't want to score almost. Like, what? How is he not shooting the puck from 65 feet into an empty net? Like, and Cooper's going like crazy. So pissed at him. I guarantee you he was.
Oh, yeah. You can't yell at Cooch the same way as you did Chernak.
Well,
I don't
it's
think
John
that ends
Cooper. He might just. I need to ask you about one other save that was made. David Pastrnak with the net pull.
Yeah. Sick.
Pasta gets an opportunity to go play street hockey goalie. He goes, as I like to call it, silly cider, because he is a true lefty. So he puts the stick in his left hand, and oh my God, this is my old brain right now. Who was it on? The shot? Who took the shot there?
It was Hagel, right?
Hagel.
Yeah.
It was who, by the way, had a really good game.
Yeah,
he had a really good game, I thought, defensively and stuff. Yeah, he's great. But there was like no way that David's going to make this save. And this was street hockey extraordinaire. This is a 12-year-old kid, either in the basement or outside in front of the house or in front of the garage, making a save that even his friends got to applaud him on, that he makes a phenomenal left leg save on.
Yeah, he'll be talking about that on the plane once they an hour in. He'll be pretty excited about that. He loves goalie.
He's giving one of the goalies shit about it. He's telling Swayman, "Look, I have 1,000 save percent.
Look at that technique, and this is what you do. This is how you do it." It was perfect. It really was. The ending of the game was, that's as good of an ending of a game as you're going to get without a goal. In the last minute, but between the hits and the save and the chances and the missed chances, it was a cool ending for not having an empty net goal scored.
Yeah, multiple chances. Again, I thought the kid Jonas Johansson played very well. Dealt with some traffic near the end, found pucks, rebound control. Bruins had a couple of chances. I really liked the was it Arvidsson attempt? The puck off pad from the right side, and was it Zaka or Geekie missed it over there, just missed it off the rebound. Really good play. Couple of others. Bruins with some great looks, just not finishing. Overall, as we wrap up, power play, I thought Unit 1 was nowhere near as efficient or effective as Unit 2 in this game on Monday afternoon. Before Unit 1 had been pretty good. I didn't love their entries. First time I could say that. Unit 2, I really liked their entries. I thought they were good. But Steve Spott has brought some life for now to the power play, and the penalty kill continues to be excellent, Razor.
The penalty kill, that's great. And then the power play, you just mentioned Hagel. Hagel and Cirelli did a number on them. And that was why that's why it didn't look the same, because the second you didn't get those two guys, you said it. Hagel was awesome tonight. Cirelli was just as good, and they brought their A kill to the board tonight, and they probably knew they had to get out of this one, and so a lot of credit goes to those guys for how good they were.
Anthony Cirelli, now in the last 5 games he has played against the Boston Bruins, has 5 goals. And Hagel's been really good against the Boston Bruins too. And again, he wasn't the offensive leader in this one, but he has been in the last couple of games against the Bruins. He's been excellent. No Vasilevsky in this game. They have a back-to-back scenario, so they chose to play Johansson, and Vasilevsky will play against Washington as the Tampa Bay Lightning are heading to play the Caps tomorrow night. The Bruins head on the road, where they now have 3 and 4, as we said a few minutes ago. Early departure to get some R&R, some fun. I guarantee you some type of team activity out in Vegas, baby. And then it's Thursday night, 10 Eastern time, 9 o'clock pregame on Nesson. The Boston Bruins take on the Vegas Golden Knights. Saturday, they go to Colorado. And then Sunday, another back-to-back, they go to Utah. So we'll call it a Southwest trip. Maybe it's not completely Central Southwest trip. Tough go at it. Vegas, one of the best in the West. Colorado, one of the best in the West. Utah, one of the better in the West. Utah's the team on the rise in the West, so it'll be interesting to see. But that's just a tough back-to-back. Both games at altitude, Colorado and then Utah. You'll see both goalies again. I would assume it wouldn't surprise me, depending on what happens, if you went Swayman, Korpisalo now that Jonas played on Monday. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, that certainly could happen, and that gets out of the rotation just a little bit, just switches it up. And that's, if we're going 1A, 1B, then that's how the weekend will go.
I just thought about that driving home. That could be, but we'll have to wait and see. All right, Razor, you and I will be doing a pre-game brew, a pre-brew, like a double shot of espresso before the Vegas game. So Thursday afternoon, folks, Razor and I are going to put out a bit of a quick pre-game, pre-brew, get you set for that game. If something big happens in that game, we might do a show Friday morning. That is a TBD, a big-time TBD. For sure, Saturday, we will be doing our Saturday morning brew that, again, is on WEEI if you're local, or if you're listening on the app, but also you can just catch the podcast version that gets out right after. And then after the game Sunday, we will be doing a morning brew with Jaffe and Razor after the Utah game. So, all right, Bruins 3-1 as they head on this first roadie of the year. So far, it's pretty darn good. Let's see how they take to the road. Some great challenges ahead. Razor, you and I will talk in a couple of days. RC, thanks for everything, and thanks to all of our sponsors. And everybody, keep enjoying that coffee.